Leroy Jethro Gibbs comes perilously near to his family's murderer in NCIS, Origins Episode 9, which culminates in a shocking revelation. Sick as Our Secrets, the prequel's most gripping narrative point to date, disclosed that Special Agent Randolph Hillebfoot had a covert link to the events involving Gibbs' wife and daughter in NCIS. It was a smart idea to connect Randy's narrative to what happened to Gibbs because he is a new character on NCIS. The narrative of a new NCIS Origins figure is connected to Gibbs in Episode 9. Vivo o Muerto takes Gibbs and Special Agent Lala Dominguez, Mariel Molino, to Mexico for the case, where Gibbs's teammate tells him how much she identifies with his situation. After learning that she is part Mexican, the agent has a unique bond with Mexico, and the two agents become closer as they cross the border. As the program gets ready for the mid-season finale, the episode's resolution settles one of the most important Gibbs-Hales NCIS Origins has to address, but it also causes a breach between Gibbs and Lala. In a flashback in NCIS Origins Episode 9, it is revealed that Gibbs is searching for the person who killed his wife and children. It depicts Gibbs 6 months prior to his NCIS agent mission. It is after the murder of his wife and daughter, but before he joins Franks and his team at the agency, as he is wearing a cast and ponders his studies in his empty apartment. The characteristics of Hernandez's vehicle and the name of his cartel are among the several pieces of information the agent thoroughly examines. Gibbs, however, lacks sufficient knowledge to make a judgment. Mark Harmon, the original Leroy Jethro Gibbs actor, narrates how he was unable to eat but finally had to resume eating. Harmon's narrative implies that Gibbs has been able to move on, but it doesn't imply that he finds a solution to the death of his wife and daughter. The flashback, like many others in NCIS Origins, supports the original flashbacks to the narrative of Gibbs and Pedro Hernandez in the double hiatus episode, which is among the finest NCIS episodes. The crew looks into a case in NCIS Origins Episode 9, which puts them in risk of getting near to Pedro Hernandez y George P's. It all begins when an intoxicated sailor is brought to NCIS by a petty officer. Although the military police should officially handle the sailor's booking, the petty officer claims that he has an earlier commitment and does not want to accompany him all the way there. Gibbs and Lala collaborate to book the sailor after Randy consents to perform the petty officer a favor. The assignment for Gibbs and Lala begins without incident. After teaching the gunnery sergeant how to properly record the fingerprints of their inmates, Lala discovers a finding that changes the course of the investigation and places it under NCIS jurisdiction. When Lala discovers the identification of a Navy corpsman named Dana Rogers, Zoe Sansonovich, in the sailor's wallet, it turns out that Dana was kidnapped. While Randy waits to interview his sailor, Gibbs and Lala go into the evidence, which links to a club in Tijuana, Mexico. Franks is not in the office, and she is in control. Mike Franks, Kyle Schmid, quits work for the day after learning from Mary Jo Tyler Abercrombie that the painter will be at his house a few days early. Mike goes home to discover Tish, Tonance and Carmelo conversing with the painter. Although everything seems relaxed and in order, Franks is tight and shows his unease. In order to remain at home in case of an emergency, Franks informs his spouse that he has taken the planned appointment off from work. The exchange builds on a narrative point that was introduced in NCIS Origins Episode 7, which described how Franks was secretly working on a case related to a sexual assault that Tish had suffered. Although Tish has expressed her desire to move on from the case, NCIS Origins makes it clear that Franks finds it difficult to do so. Tish claims she is okay when Franks and she talk about the painter in their house, but Franks admits he is not. Lala and Gibbs cross the border to look into what transpired at La Puerta Gris after they crack their case and link their missing girl to a nightclub in Mexico. Strangely, given that he had refused to support her for promotion a few episodes prior, Franks leaves the office for the day and places Lala in charge after discovering that Tish is home alone with the painter. Molino's character maintains that their employer placed her in charge and that she is acting in Frank's manner, even if Gibbs is hesitant to follow Lala to Mexico without first phoning Franks. Local law enforcement suspects Amelia, Kimberly J. Marcus, of being a scout for an underground human trafficking ring after seeing images from their sailor's throwaway camera showing that she was with him and Dana the night she vanished. There is conflict around the trip to Tijuana as Gibbs and Lala drive down to Mexico, with the latter behind the wheel. Even though it seems like she's hiding something, Gibbs doesn't question Lala when she discloses that she recently traveled to see her father. The whole extent of Dana Rogers' disappearance is revealed to Lala and Gibbs when they arrive in Mexico and meet with their liaison officer in Tijuana. The investigating officer thinks Pedro Hernandez is at the top of a human trafficking organization that is connected to Dana's kidnapping and is operated by the Reynosa cartel. Given that Gibbs has been searching for the murderer of his wife and children and is now near him in Mexico, it's a terrifying revelation. Gibbs is notably calm as Lala reads him to see how he would react. While looking for Dana Rogers, she phones Franks in California to let him know that their investigation has brought them straight to Pedro Hernandez and that they can take him down. Although the incident robs Franks of his day off with Tish, it positions the squad to punish the murderer of Shannon and Kelly responsible. The revelation demonstrates the viciousness and danger of the individual who killed Gibbs' wife and children. Lala opens up to Gibbs as they wait for Frank in their hotel room in Tijuana, which might pave the way for Gibbs and Lala's romance on NCIS Origins. When they approach Hernandez, she assures him Franks will remove him from the investigation. But when that occurs, Lala assures Gibbs that she will receive justice. Gibbs is informed by Lala that Hernandez will be obtained for him by the special agent. The incident makes clear how much Lala is affected by the situation. As she constantly promises Gibbs that she will exact revenge on the person who killed his family, she takes on a new ferocity.